Hey guys, I've got another battle report for you today. This time I tried out Deathlord's Chosen, one of the new detachments, and I went up against my friend Andrew who brought Windrider Host. I don't know why. I really struggle to remember that for some reason. Anyway, if this is your first time here, basically I give a bit of an overview of the game, how it played out, without going into too much detail. I'll highlight all of the things that I did well, and I'll highlight all of my mistakes as well. So hopefully you guys can take something away from this. Now I've got the score up on the side here, and it's more just to kind of like remind myself of like what happened throughout the game. But yeah, if you're just here for the score, then there it is. But let's jump into this. I'll take you through the list first, and then we'll jump into deployment, and then we'll go into the game. So, in terms of my list, Deathlord's Chosen. With this detachment, the detachment rule is that at the start of your opponent's command phase, anything that is afflicted, you roll a d6, and on a 6 or lower, your opponent takes d3 mortal wounds. If they are below half strength, I believe, then it's a 7 or lower. So it didn't really pop up for me. I think it popped up twice for me in this game. So it's not the best detachment rule, but there are some really cool strats in this detachment, like reroll hits for 1 CP. And these strats, they are only for Terminators. There's a tank shock, which you can do for Terminator models, and it's on a 2-up, which is crazy. There is, trying to remember what the other ones are off the top of my head. There's one for like extend contagion range. There's a fights on death one. There's one specific to the Lord of Virulence where he can look at an objective and everything within range of that is afflicted. And then I actually can't remember what the 6th one is. I'm pretty sure I used all of them. But yeah, going back to my list, sorry. So I had a Demon Prince on foot. I had 1 Tallyman and a 7-man squad of Plague Marines. These two were like separate units. I brought Typhus along. This is like the first time in ages that I've used him. He was with a 3-man squad of Deathshroud Terminators. I had a Lord of Contagion with a 6-man squad of Deathshroud Terminators, and the Lord of Contagion had that enhancement where you can do uppy downy once per game. I had 2 units of Pox Walkers, 2 units of Chaos Spawn, 1 10-man squad of Blightlord Terminators with a Lord of Virulence. I finally tried it out, and Lord of Virulence had the enhancement for 18-inch lone op. So this was like a massive, this is almost quarter of my army just here. And then I had 2 bloat drones with heavy blight launchers. In terms of my opponent's list, and as soon as I saw his list, I was like, oh my god, like this is going to be tough. This alongside the fact that my opponent was running fixed missions, so he ran behind enemy lines and established locusts, and with this detachment he can do 6-inch deep strikes, which just meant I just knew straight off the bat that there was no way I was going to be able to screen out my whole deployment without keeping too much there, and that he was going to be able to score established and behind enemy lines every single turn pretty much for free. And I think he pretty much did that. Yeah, he did, which is I just had no counter for it really, but we'll get into that. So he had 1 big squad of, I think these are Harley Quinn troops with a Shadow Seer, a lot of damage output here. He had 2 3-man squads of Scatterbikes, 2 War Walkers, 1 Howling Banshees, 1 Farseer on a bike, 2, these are Shuriken Cannon bikes. They were like 2 6-man squads. One of them had a leader, Warlock Skyrunner. He had Storm Guardians with Eldred. He had, what are these guys? Rangers, Striking Scorpions, Corsairs, more Shuriken Cannons, 2 more Warlock Skyrunners, and these guys were like separate, so it was like 2 3-man squads and then 2 single units, and 2 Swooping Hawks who can like drop mortals on you if they get within like 8 inches of a unit. It's yeah, there was so much going on here. Those were the lists. I was heavily outnumbered, and I just knew that my opponent was just going to be able to dance around me all game in terms of what we were playing. So it was Scorched Earth with the inspired, what's the one where like if you're warlords in no man's land you get +1 to leadership tests, something like that. It was that one, and it was Crucible of Battle. So Scorched Earth hold 2 objectives up to a maximum of 10 points every turn, and then you can burn objectives, 5 points for every one that you burn in no man's, and 10 points if you burn primary objectives. So my main plan here was to essentially just do what I've said, hold 2 objectives and burn the rest. Now, in terms of my deployment, and this isn't in any particular order, I had my big Blightlord squad with Lord of Virulence over here. This was actually my last drop, but I figured they had 18-inch lone op. I felt pretty safe putting them out in the open, just like being able to like walk up to this objective if required. I had 1 unit of Poxwalkers on my home objective, like screening out this corner. I had a Tallyman like hiding in the ruins here, just to help screen out like this, because I was trying to screen out a 6-inch deep strike, not 9-inch. It was pretty tough. 1 chaos spawn right on the line over here. I had a unit of Poxwalkers just behind the ruins in a straight line over here. This unit of chaos spawn, I think I actually had them behind over here to help screen this, because my opponent had an enhancement on one of these things where he could do like a turn 1 rapid ingress, so it was like I had to be so careful. Both my Deathshrouds were in deep strike. Demon Prince was close to my Blightlords, so he had lone op, and Plague Marines were behind the wall here. Then my bloat drones, I think I had 1 over here, and then 1 kind of like on this side or somewhere around here. So this is what my deployment looked like, and this is really going to test me because my opponent had so much like scout and infiltrate. I literally have no idea kind of like where things were, but I know the Storm Guardians were on here because they give an objective sticky, I think. My opponent was also trying to do like 6-inch screen outs, because obviously Deathshroud Terminators can do the 6-inch drop in, which is really cool. I remember he had Howling Banshees. These guys had an enhancement where they also had 18-inch lone op, so there was a little bit of kind of like mirror. 2 units with 18-inch lone op, a lot of 6-inch deep strike potential. I believe all of his bikes were in reserves, and he kind of had his wall walkers kind of just like hidden or screening out or something. Then he had a couple of units over this side. I think his rangers were kind of over here, and he had another unit. It might have been the Corsairs, and the striking Scorpions were somewhere. Where were these ones? I honestly have no idea where I think they were in here somewhere as well. So let's say it was all like this, and the bikes, they have this rule where it's if they're not in engagement range in my turn, then they can do uppy downy, and I think that's just like a flat detachment rule for Windrider hosts. So I had to be mindful of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units which could uppy downy every single turn. It was crazy. I think he had 1 of them on the board actually, just to like screen out this side. So yeah, pretty crazy. Anyways, going into the game, I believe I got first turn. So yeah, I jumped the Poxwalkers onto this objective, had the Chaos Spawn kind of move up over here. I got area denial turn 1, which really sucked because it meant that it was area denial and marked for death. There was no way to score marked for death. It was literally like these things back here. So the only way I was going to score points through secondary was to advance my Plague Marines. Managed to get them right in the middle, but the unfortunate thing about that is that they are so exposed from this firing lane and this firing lane that I was essentially giving up 130 points. Didn't really talk about the loadouts, but I went for a shooty squad with my Plague Marines. I didn't have any heavy plague weapons or any bubotic weapons. It was like Blight Launcher, 2 plasmas, spewer, and 3 bolter guns. And same with the Blightlords. I gave them pretty much everything except for the flails. So lots of guns. Blightlords moved up here, and actually he did do some scout moves. It was something like, I want to say it was something like this. Maybe these Chaos Spawn, they would just go screening out. My bloat drone, I honestly, like, there wasn't really anything to shoot at, so I kind of just kept them hidden. I think I started to move this one over this way a bit more, just in case some of these units popped out on this side. And then the Demon Prince, I actually moved up over here. Got him within 3 inches of the Plague Marines just in case I needed to do like a strat for free. Now, I do remember I had a couple of potential charges here. I think this one here with the Blightlords into the Rangers was like a 9-inch. And then my Chaos Spawn into... Oh yeah, because they scout moved here and then I moved them out over here. This was like a 10-inch. So I tried my best to get 2 massive charges off turn 1. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off, but it would have been so good because then I would have had these guys like on this objective. Probably would have taken out both these units. I would have had my Chaos Spawn probably take out these guys, but then I would have had all of these afflicted as well, which would have meant in his turn he potentially would have taken mortals, and then I would have deep strike my Terminators like right here and just won the game off that. But failed both my charges. I think I re-rolled one of them for free. These guys were within 12 inches of the Demon Prince, so I tried to re-roll that one for free, but unfortunately it did not pay off. So yeah, after that my opponent kind of like shuffled things up a bit. I think these guys, did they jump onto the objective? I can't remember. These guys all kind of moved up. The War Walkers moved over this way. I think they had scout as well to kind of look at my Plague Marines, and Chaos Spawn bikes came like down over this way. He dropped a massive like 6-man squad of bikes. He might have dropped all of these over here to see all of my Plague Marines and the Chaos Spawn. Like these guys were going up and down every single turn. He dropped one of them in the corner here to get his 7 points for free. I can't remember if this was a 6-inch or a 9-inch. And he moved some of these guys over to try and block like my Blightlords, and I think these guys just hung back here. So there was a lot of shooting. Plague Marines obviously died. There's a bit of shooting here, and he killed a few of my Poxwalkers, but they actually managed to tank quite a lot. Just with, I remember I rolled pretty hot with my Feel No Pains in this turn. There was a lot of shooting into my Chaos Spawn as well, and I managed to make like most of my Feel No Pains, I want to say, and one of my Chaos Spawn was down to like 2 wounds after everything. So yeah, turn 1, we got a bit closer to each other. My opponent scored a lot of secondary, I scored a little bit, and I think, I cannot remember if he managed to put more OC on. He did. He charged one of the War Walkers into my Poxwalkers, that's right. And he actually charged, there was another unit. These guys must have been on this side because they charged the Poxwalkers. That's right. And I heroic intervened with my Chaos Spawn to kind of like bring them back. Ended up killing the striking Scorpions with their leader, and I remember I actually got to revive a Poxwalker off it, which was kind of nice. And but the way, because he fought first with them, he killed the Poxwalkers, and I managed to bring them out of engagement range of the Walker. So yeah, a couple of like small technical things we were able to do there, which made it a little bit of an interesting interaction. But yeah, going into turn 2, what did I draw? Marked for Death and Storm, no sorry, Defend Stronghold and Storm Hostile Objective. So again, something that I was holding. Actually, he wasn't on the objective, he was just outside it. I had more OC on this one, and because I think I moved my Chaos Spawn on there as well, and this was the only objective I could go for, unfortunately for Storm, so I just had to try and get defend. I should say as well, my Tallyman, 2 turns, failed twice, you know, so no extra CP from him. Bloat Drone came over here, shot up these guys. I think I moved some of my Blightlords over the wall here as well, just to reinsure that that died, and I think the rest of them shot into these ranges. Demon Prince, I ended up moving this way, and it was more just to, 1, get him on the objective, and 2, get him in range of the Chaos Spawn within that 12-inch bubble, just to make sure. I moved my Chaos Spawn up here, and I managed to get all of this unit here afflicted. I think these ones were a bit further back, which is great for my Deathshroud Terminators. And then with all these units in the back, I was still just screening. I think I moved my Bloat Drone onto the terrain here to shoot at something. I can't remember what. Now, in terms of my deep strike, so because I moved my Chaos Spawn up over here, I managed to deep strike my Lord of Contagion and crew right in the middle here, and then I brought Typhus in on this side, actually behind the ruins. I was respecting the Overwatch threat because these guys had like full rerolls, so I just had to be mindful of that. And actually it might have been something like this. In terms of charge phase, Lord of Contagion and crew charged into this squad, and I actually rolled really low. I failed this. I think I rolled Snake Eyes, and then I rolled a 6, so I literally only got to just touched this unit. These guys heroic intervened and locked most of my Deathshroud so that I wasn't able to pile in and fight this bigger squad here, unfortunately. The Chaos Spawn, honestly can't remember what they did. I think they may have failed to charge potentially. And then Typhus and crew, I double charged these bikes and this Warwalker. My Poxwalkers, I actually moved them over the wall first to try and bait an Overwatch, because basically he had two options. He could try and kill my Poxwalkers here when they Overwatched, because I got these guys into affliction range, or he could, if he didn't do that, I was going to move my Chaos Spawn over here and get these guys into contagion range anyway, so it was like a lose-lose situation for him. I don't think he Overwatched, or maybe he did Overwatch the Chaos Spawn. I feel like these guys must have died because they, I don't remember them being around much longer, so maybe he did Overwatch them and maybe they did die. And then no, they couldn't have because I brought these guys in. Let's just leave it at this for now. Oh, no, that's right. I charged them into the big squad of bikes over here. Okay, fight phase. I had one Lord of Contagion and one Deathshroud going into this big 10-man squad, and I had my rest of the Deathshroud 32 attacks into 5 Howling Banshees. We didn't roll this one out, but my one Deathshroud Terminator and Lord of Contagion managed to take out a few of these guys, and I think there was only there was 3 left. On this side, Typhus killed the Warwalker. I keep saying Warwalker, it's a Warwalker. And the Deathshroud managed to take out 2 of these bikes. There was 1 left. And then there was a little bit of fighting here with the bikes and the Chaos Spawn. I can't remember if I killed any or not. I think I rolled pretty low. Let's just say I killed 1. Cool. On the pylon, he managed to out OC me and take this objective. I forgot to mention my Poxwalkers started burning this objective, and my Lord of Contagion, my Demon Prince started burning the middle objective. These guys weren't on the objective. And I only had one Blightlord Terminator on this one, so this was kind of the one where I was trying to bait these guys to come in so I could just charge them, and I wanted him to come closer on this side. Now, going into his turn, he 6-inch deep strike, over here again, something like that, got another 7 points. There was a lot of moving and shooting, and he killed my Chaos Spawn. I think he's got a 1 CP fullback shoot and charge. He killed those guys. This guy pulled out and ran away. This Warwalker kind of came over here. This is one of the instances where the detachment rule went off, and I actually rolled a 5 or 6 on the D3 mortal wound, so I managed to kill that troop squad. So it was literally just this leader left, and I did the same for this squad, but they are 2 wounds and I rolled a 1, so this guy managed to escape on 1 wound, which, spoiler alert, this guy actually managed to stay alive until the end of the game, and that's why my opponent has 7 points on his last turn because of this lone bike here. So yeah, that's pretty funny. All these bikes, they the 6-man squad, I think they all pulled up over this way as well. Basically his plan was to just shoot everything at the Deathshroud Terminators. These swooping hawks kind of went over to the objective. They did the mortals on the Deathshroud. These ones came over, and I think they were getting ready to shoot as well. And I'm pretty sure all of these bikes, literally, it looked like this. They were all looking at the Deathshroud Terminators. Everything shot into here. and he managed to kill like 4 of them, and one of them was wounded. So yeah, I tanked a lot, and keep in mind that I was pretty much rolling on my invols for everything. It was just that the T7 that kind of was really in my favor, because he had ignores cover on like most of his shots too. I think this guy just, he pulled out of combat. I can't remember if he could shoot or whatnot. So yeah, going into my battle round 3, what did I get? Cleanse and recover assets. So you can see, like, I was doing so bad with my secondary pulls. It was just really unfortunate. It's like 3 turns in a row I had 2 secondaries where I couldn't really score both of them. But yeah, going into my turn, I'm pretty sure I just killed these guys again. This time I brought these guys up and I shot the swooping hawks, and then I charged into the guys over the wall here, so I killed this guy. So I really secured this side of the map. My Demon Prince kind of moved down a bit just to be a bit closer to the Deathshroud Terminators. I think my bloat drone kind of like moved over here and took some shots at the Guardians here, because they were like strung out in a line, and I flamed them with my Deathshroud as well, and at this point I'd probably killed about half of them. Let's just go like that. I wanted to really just move in and just go straight for his home base, so I moved over here. I took a big overwatch. I think he managed to kill that second one, so it was just the 2 of us. And I contemplated at the end of his last turn kind of like pulling out the Lord of Contagion and maybe dropping down in the backlines here, but I thought I was so close to his home that I might as well just tank it and just go straight forward. I'm in the middle of the board, like what could happen? I believe I pulled Typhus back a bit and these guys to do recover assets, and someone back here was doing recover assets as well. Yeah, that was literally it. So I gave up. And turn 3, Tallyman again failed, so I gave up cleanse to get an extra CP. I managed to make a charge over here with my Deathshroud, and I think I took out the rest of the Storm Guardians here, and I managed to go into these guys and tag them into combat. And I think he piled in and then he out OC'd me here. But yeah, this is kind of what it was looking like at the end of my turn 3. Then going into his turn, he did this again, where I couldn't do anything about it. Like, there was literally nothing I could do. So because I had this massive gap, he could drop here, and he could score the points. I didn't really have much of an overwatch threat because obviously I didn't have any flamers. Everything was hitting on 6s. Maybe it would have been nice to have like 1 PBC drop half these Blightlords, because this was a huge overkill. I definitely didn't need 10 of them. But yeah, what did I get? Containment and no prisoners. So yeah, Typhus and crew jumped onto this objective again, and I did containment here. I forgot to talk about my opponent's turn, sorry. Swooping Hawks pulled out. These guys all kind of like came in and shot up like literally everything here again. They killed the Deathshroud, and it was just my Lord of Contagion on his own. With all of the shooting, I think they killed him and he revived. He then charged him with Swooping Hawks. No, sorry. These guys jumped over the wall to take this objective off me again. Charged me with this. He didn't have enough CP for tank shot because I was putting so much pressure on him throughout the game. He just never had CP, and charged me with one of these bike squads, which I think had a leader. I must have killed some of these other ones at some other point in the game. Maybe he was dropping them behind here as well, and maybe he had another one in reserves, because there were a couple of turns where like my bloat drones were like shooting into them too. So I'm just going to take these ones off. I think they all died at some point. My Lord of Contagion tanked all of the fighting from, I don't know how many attacks this was from all the bikes. I spent 2 CP. I actually spent 3 CP. I spent 1 for fights on death. I thought I was going to die. I spent another one, and I didn't die. So I spent another one. I split my attacks. I put 2 into the Shadow Seer, and I put 3 into the War Walker. I killed the Shadow Seer with 2 attacks. Both of them got through. Only hit with one of my attacks into the War Walker, and I got it through, so that was down to 3 wounds. But yeah, my Lord of Contagion was alive and well, which was surprising, so I wasted a little bit of CP there, but it was fine. Yeah, so then going into my turn, I obviously killed these guys. I moved the Blightlords over here. They shot up these guys. My Demon Prince kind of like moved over here. At this point, what did I get? Containment. This is where I got containment. Yeah, so they were doing containment over here. I was still just doing my best to screen. I think my bloke drone, because I pulled him out of, did I pull him out of combat? I kept him in combat. Bloke drone must have been shooting at other bikes or something. This guy was probably like jumped up at some point. This is where I made a really big charge. Managed to bring the Blightlords in. Obviously killed the War Walker. I managed to get my Demon Prince in as well. Killed. Yeah, so at this point, end of battle round. So this is the end of my turn 4. This is kind of what things look like. In his turn 4, he dropped bikes down again. In my turn 5, I killed the bikes again. I started burning his home objective. I was still getting 10 points for primary. Sabotage I did with... Why did I only... he must have killed my Lord of Contagion. Sabotage, I'm just thinking now, I probably should have got 6 points instead of 3, because I would have been able to move my Demon Prince onto... unless the Demon Prince failed the charge. Yeah, because we were talking out the 5th battle round, so I think this is probably something that I just didn't really think of at the time, but I probably should have got another 3 points for Sabotage, because I would have just been able to move the Demon Prince over here and got 6 points, and my Blightlords would have just burned this home objective for 10 points. Got another, yeah, instead of the 3 points here. Secure No Man's Land. Oh no, I need to secure No Man's Land. That's probably why I did that. And then on my opponent's turn 5, this Soul Bike, he did insane bravery. Make sure he passes Battle Shock. No, I don't think he could do that. I can't remember. Anyway, he dropped him in. He scored another 7 points, and that was the end of the game. So it was one of those things where I think the only way I could have countered my opponent scoring so much on secondary was if I had literally just left my Blightlord Terminators in this corner here, like this, or left my Plague Marines in this corner. But the only issue with that is eventually he would be able to chip down my Plague Marines, and then there'd just be another hole. So Blightlords was probably the only way that I would really be able to secure like this, and then I would have just had to have like spaced out my bloat drones and my Tallyman and Poxwalkers, so maybe something like this. But then there was still like tiny pockets, so maybe I probably would have had to have done something like this. But then at this point, like, what's pressuring my opponent? You know, I've got Demon Prince, I got Deathshroud Terminators, Lord of Contagion, and so I think I made the right move by playing aggressively. If that one bike hadn't survived, then my opponent wouldn't have got, he would have been on 53. I mean, it was still a win for me, so I don't know why I'm like nitpicking my my strategy that much, but I think the enhancements that I brought, I definitely didn't need. Going into this next time, I would probably drop both of them, because I think it's like 50 points, and then I would change my Plague Marine squad to a 5-man, and then I think I would have enough points to bring another 5-man, potentially. Yeah, I might be a little bit short, but then I could bring like Chaos Spawn or more Poxwalkers, you know. So there are a few things I could do there, because like 500 points in this squad here, although, and they didn't even get shot at once. I didn't even need the enhancement, and they literally took out 2 units of chaff, and they slowly made their way over here and burned the home objective. So they did get a lot of points, but I don't know if they were very cost effective, if you know what I mean. And I forgot to say, I can't remember where it happened. I think it was with the Blightlords. Oh yes, it was when I charged the Warwalker with the Blightlords. I did the tank shock thing, and I had like 6 dice and all 2-ups, so managed to blow that up and then pile into the bikes and just take a lot of them out. So yeah, the detachment, it's okay. I don't think it's as strong as some of our other ones, mainly because the strats only really affect Terminator units, and obviously I was bringing a lot more than just Terminators. Maybe the way to do it would be like 1 6-man squad of Deathshroud and 2 3-man squads, and then like 2 5-man squads of Blightlords, or even a 3-man squad of Blightlords if you really wanted to maximize like the amount of I don't want to say efficiency, like the most you could get out of like the stratagems. That's probably the way to do it. Because now, if I think about it now, if I had a 3-man squad of Blightlords here instead of 7 Plague Marines, I probably could have got them on to this objective the same for that turn 1 area denial. And they just would have been a lot harder to kill just with that 2-up, 4-up. Because with my Plague Marines, I was literally trying to save everything on 6s. So yeah, something to think about for future games. But yeah, I'm not sure when I'll try this detachment next. Like, I've played 4 of them now, so now the only ones I've got left are Tallyman Summoners, the Poxwalker one, and Flybone Host. So yeah, I'm not sure which one I'll try out next. Probably not the Poxwalker one, because I'm going to have to borrow like a whole bunch of models from someone to play that effectively. But speaking of or thinking of like games, the new mission packs have just come out, and we got a message from the hobby store today saying that we could go pick them up today. So I'll probably go out tonight and go grab them. So who knows what the next game's going to look like. It'll probably be something like completely wild. If you made it this far into the video, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you're able to take something away from this. And yeah, I hope to see you around in future videos. I'll see you guys.